Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, April 14th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. A mother was crying out for justice for her daughter, Melinda Williams, whose body was found on Saturday morning with a bullet wound to her upper torso. Melinda's body was discovered in bushes close to a church in the Vermont area. Mother of the deceased, Melinda Williams, says she is still in shock over the death of her daughter. Williams told SVG-TV News when she heard the news she was in disbelief and is still confused as to what could have caused her daughter to die that way.
In tongue. And one of my daughter called me and told me they find a body in Vermont. And they say it's Miranda. So I said, no, I can't believe. I can't believe. So while I go in the van, the call still coming in. It's Miranda. I still couldn't believe because Miranda, she's the person to go dance party alone from home. So they said she went to buy a phone card just down the road. Just 5 blocks to come up. 5 houses away to come home. And down this way she was kidnapped. I live on the floor Thursday morning, went away, and last time I heard her voice, it's Friday evening, she called to me to ask me something.
Melinda Williams is described by her relatives as a nice person who is very quiet, who will be sadly missed. Her mother says she leaves behind 2 young children.
This is the one he lived with his father. So this one was living with his mother.
What was the reaction been like?
Well, he cried the whole time I ate in the other grandmother say. Only God one knows how I feel. Only He will know how I feel.
And you don't know everybody who wants?
No, I can't sleep. From the time I get the news, I didn't drink till Saturday. I didn't eat anything. I can't sleep. Neither eat nor sleep. Just worried, confused.
Meantime, the body of 25-year-old Roger Bramble, who was reportedly shot and killed between Friday and Saturday, was discovered just below the Brighton playing field earlier today. Kristen John Dean has that story in this report.
Relatives of 25-year-old Roger Bramble have been searching for him since he was reportedly shot on Saturday night. Solicia Bramble, sister of the deceased, says the last time she saw her brother was on Saturday.
We went by my mommy on Saturday evening, but we uncle have a house out here, so he actually sleep out here. So mommy say he come by and if he tell she coming out. So they say, well, the people them out here say that when he reached out, he went back up the road where he and a guy named Joey staying in the house. So the guy say like this, where you going? So he say he going up the road to check a partner and come back. But the people them say that when he coming back down, like the person was over there in the dark. Soon as he come back down and turn the corner, they hear pop and his bullet start, and then they hear he shout out, oh God, oh God. And then, well, everybody lock in, it's obvious.
Solicia said she and her other family members mounted their own search for her brother and was doing so up to the time of his discovery just before midday today.
By the police station last night, I Calapan report that he missing. This man will come back out and we went all down on the bay side looking, and on our way coming back up in the chat there, a little girl went come down and take crying and tell they find him, he dead. So he said, but if anybody know anything, we would like anybody to come out and see something that we can know.
A teary-eyed mother of the deceased, Sharon Bramble, says she is saddened by the death of her son and she hopes to see the person or persons who killed him brought to justice.
I ain't saying my child is miserable is right, but I just don't like how my child is going to jail justice. Because he talked to me Saturday, he said, Mommy, I love you, and I tell him I love him back. He said, Mommy, I want money to pay God, and I give him the money. He tell me, go in. Son, the man is really simple child there. I still thank God that I find him, I could get body for buried. And he turned to me and said, Mama, I don't want to bury me, and me, why dead now. But we said, you don't God, you can't do nothing to that.
So far this year, the country has recorded 9 murders and 11 homicides. Kristen John Dean reporting for SVG-TV News.
Police are investigating a motor vehicle accident which occurred on the Argyle Main Road on Saturday afternoon, leaving several youngsters with severe injuries. The accident involving motor vehicle R1078, a car owned by Stanford Thomas of Prospect and driven by Junior Simon of Calder, and motor vehicle HE851, an omnibus owned by Renald Castello of Owea and driven by Alan Graves, also of Owea. According to the police, both vehicles were traveling in opposite direction when they collided. The passengers in the omnibus were mostly young footballers who were returning home from a football match which they won at the Honestvale playing field earlier. According to reports, 4 of those on board the omnibus were taken to the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital with severe injuries. Up to news time, 3 remain hospitalized with broken limbs and several cuts about their bodies. SVG-TV News understands that a 13-year-old boy who had to be rushed into surgery at the hospital to have his left wrist amputated because of severity of his injuries. One person in the car, R1025, reportedly sustained injuries to his right foot. Kenny Jackson, 43, Renna McDonald, 51, and Collis Charles, 23, from Otley Hall and Lomans Leeward, respectively, have been busted by the Rapid Response Unit for being in possession of almost 150 pounds of cannabis. The trio was reportedly intercepted with the controlled drug on Friday, the 11th April 2014 on the Camden Park public road. According to reports, law enforcement officers acted on a tip-off on the date in question and proceeded to the Camden Park area. A motor vehicle was seen traveling on the Camden Park public road towards Kingston, of which Jackson was the driver. He was signaled to stop and he complied. Jackson agreed to a search being conducted on the vehicle, and it was during that time the controlled drug was discovered in a box. The trio appeared at the Kingston Magistrate Court this morning and maintained their innocence when the charges were put to them. They were all allowed bail in the sum of $68,000 each, with one surety, until July 9th, 2014, when a date will be set for the trial at the Serious Offences Court. They are also ordered to surrender their identifications, driver's license, and travel documents to the court, and to report to the Central Police Station between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Mondays and Fridays, and not to leave the state without the express permission of the court. Another big step was today taken to improve the capacity of the juvenile justice and children protection agencies to provide adequate, rehabilitative, and preventative and supportive programs for children and youth in potential conflict with the law in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Delivering the welcome remarks at the launch of Phase 2 of the training program at the National Insurance Services Conference Room, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Mobilization, Jasmine Hull, explained that over the next 2 days, discussions and presentations will be heard in relation to legislative reform and national parenting program development.
As the OECS move towards the establishment of a single economic space, we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are being encouraged to reform our legislations and adopt a harmonized approach to social development. Today, we are launching Phase 2 of a national 2-day training conference, and the topic to be discussed on day 1 is the legislative reform, the compatibility of the Child Justice Bill provisions appropriateness. Today's discussions will be facilitated by legal consultant Mrs. Jacqueline Seeley-Brown and and Magistrate Gloria Septra Augustus. It is said that it takes a village to raise a child. Thus, on day 2 of the conference, the facilitators will look at a national parenting program development, a necessity and possibility, as we in the ministry see parenting as a growing national concern. Hence, it is all of us business.
The St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited, VINLEC, continues to subsidize the fuel surcharge rate applicable on electricity bills in the absence of a segment of the company's hydro facilities. This is in keeping with a commitment made by the company in January this year, following extensive damage to the hydropower plants during the December floods. The company in a news release says, in April, it is subsidizing the fuel surcharge rate in the amount of 1.28 cents per unit, a total value of 130,000 EC dollars. The fuel surcharge rate applicable on electricity bills for April is 61.44 cents per unit instead of 62.72 without subsidy. VINLEX says for the months of February, March and April 2014, it has spent just over $1.85 million subsidizing the fuel surcharge rate. Meanwhile, the company says work continues on the rehabilitation of the hydro facilities. They are hoping to have all rehabilitation work completed by the end of 2014. The second annual InterAmerican Exhibition was hosted earlier today at the National Public Library. Persons were given the opportunity to peruse the work done by the 3 agencies operating here, including the Organization of American States, the OAS, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA. Zulika Lewis tells us more in this report.
Today, Monday, April 14th, is being celebrated globally as Pan American Day as a commemorative symbol of the decision of the countries of the Americas to unite voluntarily within one continental community. Locally, the work done by 3 inter-American agencies, namely the Organization of American States, the OAS, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, were on display at the National Public Library. Showcasing a number of successful workshop ventures, pamphlets, and brochures, Cordero Telesford, a representative of PAHO, highlighted the organization's work in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
This is the Pan American Health Organization table. What we have here, we have some fellowship forms. We call it the fellowship application in applying for anything that is in the health service, health field. What we have here, we have booklets on diseases, and we also have booklets down there on HIV as well. So we're just promoting, and behind here we have displays of the structure of PAHO, the mission of PAHO, the project, also our director, and also we have our program coordinator. And these are some of the workshops that we may have achieved in 2013 and prolonging to go on to 2014.
PAHO's country specialist, Nick Wilson, commended SVG for being the only Caribbean territory that sought to promote the day in a significant way. Additionally, the OAS and IICA booths also highlighted their work in SVG through agriculture, security, and education.
OAS is one of the oldest organizations in the world, and we are most famous for the OAS mission. During election time, most times persons will remember, oh, OAS mission is coming. So here you can see some of the democratic charter. We are big on security, human trafficking, etc. Scholarship, as I mentioned. There's a lot of projects that OAS will supported. Civil registry, as we heard upstairs. Historical building and site in partnership with the National Trust.
Known popularly for its scholarship programs, OAS Country Representative Melinda Williams said that SVG has been the benefactor of scholarships from the OAS for close to 30 years.
These are only some of the scholarships that we've had over the years. You can see that they start from 2002. In fact, our scholarship program in St. Vincent goes all the way back to 1986. But we couldn't display all of those, so we picked a date and came forward. And we've had scholars in so many different areas.
Meanwhile, 2013 OAS scholarship recipient Conroy Huggins told SVG-TV News that he was grateful for the opportunity to complete his master's in project management.
I'm very thankful to OAS. I actually received a scholarship in project management last year, actually a master's in project management. That will be completed in August of this year. It has been a phenomenal experience. It's a total scholarship, a complete scholarship, and the opportunity is available to all Vincentians, regardless of who you are.
The first InterAmerican Exhibition was held here on April 30th last year. For SVG-TV News, I am Zulika Lewis.
Meanwhile, Melinda Williams says she strongly believes that the 35 member states can achieve much more if they continue to band together. She says a hemispheric response and solution is needed to tackle some of the problems facing these countries.
The countries of the Americas, their size, their history, their wealth, level of development, language, culture, and aspirations mean that the challenge of finding and maintaining common ground among them is great, but it is a challenge that we continue to pursue wholeheartedly because the alternative is to embrace isolationism, which is not only impractical, but virtually impossible in the face of our levels of interconnectedness. We can achieve a lot more together than we can alone. Working with and through bilateral and multilateral partners throughout this hemisphere and further afield, we have opportunities to mobilize and leverage resources that we simply cannot rally alone.
The 12th annual SVG Gospel Festival 2014 got off to a good start on Sunday evening, drawing a large audience at the Victoria Park. Delivering his opening remarks, Chairman of the National Gospel Fest Committee, Fidel Taylor, told the audience it is a challenge to host the event each year with limited sponsorship from the business community.
And to be able to do it every year is a miracle. When you are confronted with the business sector that are turning you down. Dozens of letters went out again this year and we received a lot of negatives. But we thank God that He has His people, and wherever there are impossibilities, God always makes it possible for His people and for His things that He has ordained.
Noting that the festival has grown by leaps and bounds, now being recognized as a national event, Taylor called on the churches to take control of the festival, making it their own.
Put your money inside of it. Invest in it. This is kingdom business. You need to own this festival. We want to thank the government for their contribution, and they continue to put a significant amount of money in it. We have had some sponsors this year, but they were minor. Government continued to put the majority of the funds in the festival. But it's time that the church take over and own it.
Minister of Tourism and Culture, Cesar Mackey, says the month of April is an important one for SVG, and the organizers of the Gospel Festival have added significantly to the importance of the month.
We have 6,000–7,000 stayover visitors coming to our shows at this time each year, and 200+ yachts bringing several other visitors to our shows by yacht arrivals. I think we all know that next weekend, well, beginning this weekend into next weekend, the Grenadines will be the focal point in terms of activity for the Easter Festival, particularly Beckway and Union Island. I'm happy to see that the organizing committee is taking this festival to the Grenadines as well. But on the mainland St. Vincent, we have the Gospel Festival, which is becoming a more and more looked forward to event each year. And I want to let the organizing committee know that you are therefore adding significantly to the cultural and the tourism product here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
There were a number of performances in songs and dance at Sunday's event. Here are some highlights.
There is power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is is against the truth, so let us give God, so let us tell me, what can I do? 'Cause I can't live without you. I can't live without you. Bring the curse fall to the fragrance of spring, spring, spring. hallelujah. Is there anybody here who want to shout a hallelujah? Let's praise the Lord. Let's praise his name.
Gospel Fest 2014 is being held under the theme Experiencing the Power of God. The activities will continue on Thursday with the first zonal showcase in Beckway at the Beckway Community High School. The General Employees Cooperative Credit Union Limited GECO will host its second lecture tomorrow at the Peace Memorial Hall from 8 p.m. Barrister at law, former president of GECO, president of the SVG Bar Association, and Speaker of the OECS House of Assembly, Rennie Batiste, will deliver the lecture on the topic, The Role of Credit Unions in National Development, Women Stalwarts of GECO. The lecture will be given in honor of the sterling contribution of former General Manager Viola John and is the second in a series of lectures focusing on GECO's contribution to its members in all spheres of life in St. Vincent and the Grenadines over the past 50 years. The series will also highlight the role credit unions have played in the socio-economic, political, and the spiritual development of SVG. The lecture will be aired on SVG-TV from 8 p.m.